Welcome to Solving Citizen Legal Encounters. All right, today we got a court case going on where there's a plaintiff and a defendant, both representing themselves, but they had an accident and it gets a little heated in court. So let's go in and check out this case and we'll talk about it in the comments together. Let's go.
Okay, so back on the record, this is a case of Richard and Jean Ellaway and Abigail Nutu. Case number 39038. And this case was initiated by the Elloways against Ms. Nutu. Ms. Nutu filed a counterclaim, and this is the factual scenario I spoke about in my opening speech, where there was an accident. Both of you are pointing fingers at the other party, and it's to be up to me to figure out who's at fault here. And so before we do that, Ms. Ellaway, could you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You can put your hand down. And then go ahead. I'll hear from you first, and then I'll hear from Ms. Nutu.
Okay. On that day, I was driving and I was on the main road, and all of a sudden, I was on the main road, and when Miss Nutu suddenly collided with my vehicle on the right, and she made an illegal pass to my right side, and the speed that the car was going was really fast, Your Honor, and she never stopped until she went to Galenta, and she made a right. She swerved over to the right lane and stopped. And she never got out of the vehicle. I followed, and I was waiting, and she never got out. Yeah. So
you hit her, and as far as I can tell, you hit her in her left driver's side rear. Is that correct?
No, Your Honor. She hit me.
Okay, this hearing is definitely not starting off right.
Oh.
She hit my vehicle. I was on the main road, and all of a sudden she was passing, and I in front, and she was already going ahead. And because I didn't want to hit her further, I swerved towards the left and stopped my vehicle in the middle of the road. And she continued moving forward.
Hang on, just a minute, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, so were you in there's a narrative report filed in the from the looks like a police.
Yes, sir.
And then there's also a diagram.
Yes.
And then I'm going to read to you what's in this report, and I want you to tell me if this is accurate or not.
Okay.
It says, I then talked with Jean Ellaway, the driver of Vehicle 1. She told me the following. According to Jean, she was stopped on Viewpoint Court preparing to turn left onto Crosby Boulevard. Jean said she looked both directions for traffic. She said she saw none, moved out into Crosby Boulevard. During her turn, Jean said V2 came out of nowhere. Her vehicle struck V2 on the rear driver's side. Jean's vehicle sustained reportable damage to the front passenger side corner, and she did not have any injuries to report in her vehicle. And so then I'm going to show you another thing here that's also in that report that I printed this off. If you look here, it may be hard. This is a disadvantage but that's what was submitted by the officer. And that's kind of similar to what was described in that paragraph. The car coming out of, can you see that first of all? I'm going to pull that up there.
Yes, Your Honor, I see that.
So the come out is identified as your automobile. V2 is the automobile driven by Ms. Nutu.
Yes.
So is this diagram wrong? And did the police officer, when he wrote all that down, is he wrong or what exactly? Because I heard I'm trying. It's hard for me to figure out exactly what you're telling me.
Okay, that was from the first police report, Your Honor, and I made 2 more attempts in going to the police station to correct that report because that is Mr. Nutu's version to the cop. That is not what I said to the cop. I was not turning left. I was already on the main road. I was on Crosby when Miss Nutu suddenly hit my vehicle.
Sound like we need that officer in court.
I was not turning left.
What kind of car were you driving, ma'am?
Subaru, sir. That police report has been amended 2 more times.
Is that the amended police report been filed?
Yes, sir. Did you?
Yeah, it's in
It's in the file, zip file, Your Honor.
So what exhibit? What number? There's the exhibit. There's all kinds of exhibits here, and there's
Exhibit
is it
D.
numbered?
It's Exhibit D. Police
Thank you.
report supplemental.
And sir, you're not sworn in, and so I'm not going to hear from you. If you want to testify, I'll let you testify, but you need to sworn in first. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I don't see that in Exhibit D. Exhibit D is looks to me like an insurance company thing.
No, it's
Page 1.
1, 2, and 3.
D1, hang on just a minute. Oh, there we go. Says I amended the diagram. Okay, so hang on just a second. So it looks to me, okay, hang on just a minute. I'm going to hear from Ms. Nutu. Ms. Nutu, could you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You can put your hand down. Were you driving a Toyota?
Yes, I was.
Okay, I'll get back to that in a minute. So ma'am, the picture presented, there's a couple of pictures here. And which I assume is yours. There's a picture of a Toyota, which is, I assume, is Ms. Nutu's. And did you send these pictures, Ms. Nutu?
Yes, we did.
And then did you take these pictures right there with your phone?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so ma'am, I'm going to come back to you. And it looks to me like the damage to your car is on the front passenger side. And the damage to Ms. Nutu's car is on the rear driver's side, which would be consistent with this diagram. That's what that shows. And I don't see how, if she was in, I'm not following what you're telling me. You're saying she hit you?
Are you referring to me?
Yes, I am.
Ms. Jean Ellaway?
Oh, she's not switching to third person.
Yes, Jean Ellaway.
Yes.
Because it looks to me like the only way that
She hit me,
she
sir.
hit you?
Yes. I was on the main road, and all of a sudden there's a slam to my right. And then she just tried to pass me, and then she went straight, and she was at high speed. She never stopped. She never honked her horn, nothing.
She never braked.
She never.
Okay, so
she never
Mr.
did a break.
I don't understand how the back of her car could collide with the front of your car.
Maybe she was driving in reverse.
That's what I don't get.
She swerved right to my side, up to the right embankment, and went straight.
Okay.
So she hit me on the right.
She tried to cut
And
around.
she tried to cut, and then she never stopped. She went straight.
So I'm gonna hear from Ms. Nutu. Ms. Nutu, could you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You can put your hand down. I'll hear according to you, what happened out there?
So I was driving down Crosby Boulevard, and as I'm approaching, I see her car. She's on the side street. It is Viewpoint Court, and I see her car, and as I'm approaching, I see her starting to come out and make a left-hand turn, and I didn't think too much of it. I was like, oh, she shouldn't have been pulling out yet, but obviously I assume she stopped, and I continue. And as I am crossing like the street, I notice that she's still accelerating towards me, and out of caution, I swerve into the bike lane a little bit, and I speed up to try and avoid that. I didn't think that she would actually hit me. I just thought it would be another one of those close calls that happens, but she did end up hitting me, and I immediately pulled over as soon as I could. And I was obviously shaken up. I had never been in an accident. I'm young. I don't really know what to do in these situations. So the first thing I did is I called my father, of course, and he said he'd be coming and that an officer was on the way. And then I get out of my vehicle and I take pictures of everything. And Miss Ellaway also exits her vehicle when I come outside as well. And she tells me she's late for an appointment and she wants my insurance, and she's saying she's late and asking if she can leave. I say, no, you cannot. We have an officer on the way to get this all taken care of. That's the only time I spoke to her, and then went back in my car, and I didn't get out until the officer and my parents had arrived there as well.
Ms. Ellaway?
Yes.
And again, so tell me again what happened there from your point of view.
Okay, so I was on the main road, and then all of a sudden I heard this bang on my car, and there she was moving, and then I swerved little bit to the left because I didn't want to hit her further, and then she just went I heard the car and then she just went straight.
That's the second variation of her story.
She just went straight, and then she parked by towards Galenta, past Galenta Street or Avenue or whatever that street is. And then she didn't come out of her car.
Eh?
And then she just said that my father, and then she didn't stop. She didn't make, it was just a big like that. I just heard boom. And she just went going straight. I did not make a turn, Your Honor. I was already on the main road. I was on Crosby. And then when her father came, all of a sudden he was telling he said that, oh, you were turning left. I said, no, I was not. I was on the main road. And that's when he called the cop. He said, I'm calling the cop. And all this story on the first report was not what happened. That's why I had to go to the cop 2 times, because I said, I'm not being heard here. This is Mr. Nutu's version. And in fact, when in the police report, before the police left, the officer, he said, this is no fault. And then all of a sudden I received the police report, which is Mr. Nutu's version. I was not turning left. I was already on Crosby Road when she hit me.
So it's your position. I mean, again, give me just a minute there, ma'am. So again, going back to this diagram here on Viewpoint Court, where that car is, do you live on that street, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
And is this about where this happened? Just outside of Viewpoint Court?
I was already on the main street.
I heard that, ma'am.
Yes,
I heard that.
Yes.
Okay.
So I have already made the safe turn from Viewpoint Court.
I see. So you did turn off Viewpoint Court?
Yes. And I have already made the safe turn. I was on Crosby, and all of a sudden I was hit. We have to consider, Your Honor, that that's a descending road. It's a curved road, and you have to.
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with it. So I have questions for you both, and that is, you're both making claim against each other. The reason I ask this is without saying, who I'm deciding for, if insurance covered this and insurance paid for it, and you have to pay for it, you're maybe subject to a deductible. I can't enter a judgment, like the insurance will pay for it, and then I can't enter a judgment in the amount of what the insurance paid for, because that should go to the insurance company. And so I guess I'll start with you there, ma'am. It's Ms. Well, here's what's going to happen. And so, ma'am, I heard what you're saying about, you had already made the turn and we're on, but given where you were turning off of Viewpoint Court onto Crosby Boulevard, when you turn onto the lane, and that when you turn onto the road in that particular position, you have to yield the right of way to the person on Crosby Road. And if this was about where this happened, and it doesn't make sense that if they slammed into you from behind, that would be one thing, but your front clipped their behind. And so maybe, you misjudged. It said in the police report, you didn't see them coming. Perhaps, I'm not sure what exactly happened, other than maybe you misjudged her speed, or if you didn't see, and if she was already on the road, and then it seemed to me not be possible for her to hit you with on her.
He's having a hard time with this case. I think a recess is in order.
Left rear bumper to your front right bumper. That just doesn't make any sense. Perhaps you didn't see, you misjudged how fast she was going, but I am going to find that the preponderance of the evidence is that Ms. Nutu's not at fault in this case, and if there is any fault, that lies with you, and that you misjudged the turn, misjudged her speed, or what have you. And so Ms. Nutu, and again, and I assume who's there with your father, what's the status of all this? Did insurance cover this, and was there a deductible, and what
Yeah.
exactly?
Yes, Your Honor. Can I talk? Is that okay?
Yeah, raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
That is, yes.
You can put your hand down. What's the insurance situation?
Insurance situation is the plaintiffs in this case, Your Honor, were uninsured.
Huh?
They were cited for not having insurance at the time of the accident. Luckily, I have uninsured motorists, so we went through our insurance company to fix our car. So we did that, and we got our car fixed. And lo and behold, after, I don't know, 3-4 a month, we get a sheriff coming to the door issuing us a summons report.
No, I just want to know what your deductible is. What did you have to pay?
The deductible was $1,000, but it ended up being only $100 for uninsured motorists under my policy.
I see.
It only cost us $100 out of our pocket to get our car fixed.
Did you have to pay a filing fee for the counterclaim?
I did, Your Honor. It was like
How much was that?
$75. What the standard procedure was, and then I paid the sheriff too. I left.
How much was that? $60 for the service fee?
Yes, Your Honor.
Testimony.
Now, is there anything that we're able to do about the diminished value for my vehicle? The damages that I'm seeking on.
I can't. Before you stop there, I'm just gonna stop you and say, I can't give you advice in that regard. And so, you can talk to a lawyer if you want about all of that, but I can't. You don't want me telling them how to conduct their case. I'm pretty confident they don't want me to tell you how to conduct yours too. So I just, you're here, you both pointed the finger with regard to the accident. The only thing I'm deciding today is, and she's asking for emotional distress, which I can't, I don't think that's appropriate.
Okay.
I'm finding that just for the purposes of this hearing, I'm finding that your daughter's not at fault. The fault lies with Ms. Ellaway. I'm going to reward you with principal and the deductible, and I'll give you your costs and fees. And, but that's really what I can, if you want to pursue other action,
I don't need anything
maybe consult
else,
a lawyer.
That'll be fine with us today.
All right.
Sir, could I say something?
Yeah. Could you raise your right hand, please?
Yeah.
Do you swear and affirm the information and testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just would like to say that, my wife, English is her second language, and I believe her communication with the police of what happened was limited. And then I feel that this uninsured issue, that was my oversight, and I deeply regret that. I got insurance the next day. No.
But see, hang on, but I'm going to stop you on the insurance thing because I want to say that had no bearing on my deciding of the case. That's why I announced what I was going to do before I asked about insurance. So insurance only affected the amount of the judgment.
Yeah, yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
But it may have influenced the police officer because he was definitely not listening to my wife. I was there when they were talking. And before he left, he asked her point blank, were you going down the straightaway in Crosby Boulevard? And she said, yes. And then he never put that into the report. And the other issue is the damage. I mean, there's a swipe. It swipes on the bumper towards the left. And were you able to watch my video, Exhibit A?
No, give me a second. I did, but I can review it now.
Yeah, because I feel that this is a little more complicated than it appears, because when you come around that bend on Crosby Boulevard, you're almost completely blind until you're, looking at, or you're within like 100 feet of it. So it's very possible that the version that my wife presents is true and real, meaning that she was already descending, and that Miss Nutu did not see her make that turn. And I still wonder why she didn't brake or why she didn't honk or, anything. So I actually timed it out very carefully, from listening to what my wife said. And there's about a 6-second delay. and that would fit with both versions. Like both people could be telling the truth. So
Well, the other thing is, one thing I will say about, I did consider, then the video's loading. I didn't, and I just kind of decide the case based on what's presented to me and, the pictures and all of that. But, videos after the fact generally, frankly, aren't that helpful. But, I will say this, what I did hear from Ms. Nutu is she did try to avoid it. She saw the turn, she tried to speed up and she almost made it. I mean, if you look at where you hit, if she'd have just been like 2 feet further ahead, we wouldn't even be here. And so, I mean, that's just what I heard her say. And I did consider that in making my decision. But the insurance is just a non-issue. The judgment's going to be principal amount of $100. Filing fee is $50. A service fee is $60. So in terms of damage, I'm not given a win the amount of, and I do know that body shops are, given my work experience here and what I see, and for lack of a better term, or fender benders, which this is, frankly, a fender bender. I know that body shops are very expensive, but the insurance company paid for that. I'm not given a windfall to the Nutus for all of that. They're just getting their deductible as well as their filing fee. So the total judgment amount is $210.
Sir, just their insurance company, we thought this was a no-fault accident. That's what we were told by the police officer. We were actually shocked to see that report. And their insurance company's coming after us now for $7,000.
And if they had insurance at the time of the accident, they wouldn't have to worry about the bill. And why is she sleeping during the hearing?
And this is why we're here today.
Okay. I'm going to tell you, I'll tell you something else. I mean, this hearing, this isn't, I mean, I don't know what to tell you other than the insurance company can do with what they think's appropriate. And apparently insurance, all I know is what I'm deciding here today, how much weight the insurance company gives that. And apparently the insurance company decided to do that well before anything happened. And also, for the record, I didn't know anything about that till right now, until you just told me, but I'm just deciding the case based on what's presented to me.
Well, can I ask a question?
Yes.
My understanding of Washington state law, if someone's in an intersection, what my wife said she was already out going, descending, doesn't she have the right of way with someone coming? I mean, and then if there's not
the person turning onto, again, based on what I've seen in terms of the testimony, when you're turning onto or coming onto, you have to yield to oncoming traffic.
Your Honor.
And that's what I'm finding. And maybe she didn't come out, and she maybe misjudged the oncoming car. And you're at the speed of the oncoming car, but it's there again. That's what I'm finding.
On the video, you can see you can only see 200 yards there. So it's very like she could have passed, and again, not seen a car coming. There's a very limited visibility from viewpoint.
I was already on Crosby, okay. Your Honor. I wasn't turning left. I was already on Crosby.
Okay.
And I'm a very safe driver.
Yeah, I don't doubt that, ma'am. Yeah, and I'm not. My decision doesn't mean you're not a safe driver, but sometimes things happen. They do, and and I'm asked to decide the case based on what's presented to me, and based on what's presented today. To me, this is my decision, and that's. You can appeal this if you wish. Of course, every decision can be appealed, but that's my decision here in this case.
I just feel like, Your Honor, that I have not been heard since the beginning. I had to go to the police station 3 times in order to correct the police report. I have not been heard since the beginning of this, because this is all Mr. Nutu's version to the police, and that's the thing that the police put in his report. I was on the main road. I was on Crosby when Miss Nutu hit me. I wasn't turning left. That was Mr. Nutu's version when he was accusing me.
Yes, Your Honor. And I asked Mrs. Nutu why she tried to go around her, and she said she thought she was turning left. And to me, that was evidence that she was on Crosby and not turning, yes. Because it wasn't that she didn't say at the time that she ran into her. She said she thought she was turning left. And if you see on the video, there's nowhere to turn left there. So I think she's changed her.
I think she was turning left. She was turning left off a viewpoint,
No,
and
no,
then
no,
she
no.
tried to go around
She
her.
thought
That's
she was
my
turning
understanding.
left off of Crosby. She
I
said
was already on Crosby, and then she said,
She-
I thought you were turning left, meaning she thought that I was turning left towards the park or towards the residence driveway
right.
on that side, but I was already, there were no two lanes. There was just one main lane and another on the
So
ahead was a left turn.
So her
Hang on
testimony-
just a second. I'll allow Ms. Nutu to respond, and again, we'll go, Ms. Nutu, you heard what she said. Do you have a response to that?
Yeah, I do. I did not speak to Mr. Ellaway or Mrs. Ellaway. I never said those words. I actually have no clue what they're talking about.
Oh.
She was turning left off of Viewpoint and coming onto Crosby. It's as simple as that. Their story keeps slightly changing. They're saying things that I said. I didn't speak to them. As I said, I was very scared, so I waited for my dad and the police to arrive because I didn't know how to go about things, and I didn't speak to them about what I thought she was doing or anything. It was simply that she was coming out left and she tried to merge into the lane that I was in and hit my back corner.
Your Honor, I did talk to her, and she did say she thought she was turning left.
So again, I've reviewed the pictures, which are telling to me is where the person hit. And my decision, I've heard your comments. And ma'am, I did hear you. I did listen to your testimony, and this is just the decision that I'm making. And as I said before, when you get two different versions of the same set of facts, they have to come one way or the other. And usually, and I understand you're not happy with my decision. I get that. I get that you disagree with it, but that's my decision here today. And again, the principal amount on the defendant's counterclaim is $100, $50 filing fee, $60 service fee. Total judgment amount is $210. And then that'll conclude the hearing here for today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You both are free to go.
Thank you.
That was definitely a wild ride of a hearing. That story was changing over and over and over again. And you all noticed it, I'm sure. But put whatever you think in the comments. Did the judge make the right decision? Or he didn't? Because based on everything that he talked about, the accident diagram, the testimony, the pictures, we couldn't see everything. But let me know what you think. All right, thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.